So yeah, states definitely like to overreach on what they're doing when they're administering what they require for businesses in their states.
You
It's
know, it
crazy.
was funny. They sent me a Q&A, like our frequently asked questions. And one of the questions was, why is this a law? And the answer, because it is. I was just like, okay.
Don't mess with Texas, right?
No, you don't, man.
I love it.
Oh, okay. What's the format? How does it work?
I'll just ask you questions. You answer them. You talk about whatever you want.
Perfect.
So welcome to episode 6 of the Trusted Advisor Mortgages and More podcast. Here we talk about finance and accounting, mortgages, real estate, anything to do with entrepreneurship or social media marketing, or anything else that I find interesting. And so today we have none other than Jose Zavala from ZTX Advisors.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank
you.
What exactly is your job title right now? You're not a CPA yet, correct?
Not yet. So I'm finishing.
So what do we call you? I know Texas has some weird rules on that.
I can't call myself an accountant.
Okay.
So I just tell everybody that I'm just a business advisor.
Okay.
That's my title. And I'm not because I can say tax preparer, but I don't just do taxes. I can say bookkeeper, but I don't just do bookkeeping, you know?
Okay.
We do a lot more in-depth, strategy sessions and actual business advising, helping clients grow and not just like, hey, here's a set of financials, have fun, I'll talk to you next month kind of thing. So
cool. So Texas needs to come up with a word for someone who does accounting but can't be called an accountant.
100%. And it's funny because I accidentally put something when I first started on my QuickBooks profile back when I used, when I first, because when I first started, I was QuickBooks. That's what everybody knows. And I had put, I think, financial reporting, and, thinking whatever. I get a letter from the state that they're threatening to sue me if I don't change my my stuff. And I was just like, okay, yes, sir. So changed everything. And yeah, they're very particular here in Texas about what you can and can't call yourself.
States sometimes go. One of the states my former company was licensed in doesn't allow mortgage companies to say they're doing a no points, no fees refinance. Because what they say is the client's getting a higher rate in exchange for the no points, no fees. Well, if you're at 5% and I take you to 4.5% and pay all the costs for you, that's no points, no fees, right?
Yeah.
No, we had to take that off our website because we were licensed in some state that said that that's not fair to the consumer. Because that consumer could pay money to get it down to 3.5% instead of 4.5%. And we say, yeah, but if he's paying $30,000 to buy it down that extra point, it's not really worth it to him. So
no.
If I can drop your rate and pay everything for you, that's free. And that's a no-brainer. You should definitely do that. Should you pay more to get it even cheaper? Maybe. We can run those numbers. But no, you can't say no cost. You can't say no points, no fees. And so, and we never actually did a loan in that state. We were just trying to get in there.
Yeah.
And they made us change the website. Use that term.
Oh, it cracks me up.
So I'm not licensed there, so I can say no points, no fees all I want. Although they're probably going to come back and make me edit out videos when I do get licensed there later. Anyway, so yeah, states definitely like to overreach on what they're doing when they're administering what they require for businesses in their states.
It was funny. They sent me a Q&A, like our frequently asked questions. And one of the questions was, why is this a law? And the answer, because it is. I was just like, okay.
Don't mess with Texas, right?
No, you don't, man.
I love it.
Oh, I was like, all right, whatever you guys want. I'll change everything. And I'm like, okay. That's why if you hear a lot, I'm always, when people are like, hey, are you an accountant? No, I'm not technically an accountant. So I have to preface that because if they're watching my content, I don't want them to come at me and say something.
Yeah, no, I understand. So how long has ZTX Advisors been in business?
2.5 years, my friend.
Very cool.
It has been a wild ride. I worked for several CPA firms here in Houston. That I've been, my whole career has been public accounting. And then I just, and I actually left, and I wasn't going to do accounting anymore. I was burnt out. I was just fed up with it. And I'm like, I'm done. A couple clients that I had were like, hey, no, we're going to use you. We don't want to use anybody else. And I was like, oh, okay, let me kind of do this while I find something else. And well, you know how it happens. You start going, you start working in it. And it's like, hey, all right, maybe I can do this. And then, here we are 2.5 years later. And, just
That's wonderful.
going.
So what were you thinking you were going to do if you're getting out of financial
I had
services?
no plan. I thought about getting my CDL. I thought
Wow.
about maybe, finding like a contractor and learning a little bit of construction, learning how to bid and stuff like that, getting into that industry. I just, my degree's in accounting. All I've known is accounting, tax. And I told myself, I don't want to do this anymore. And I just want to find something different. And I was looking, I was trying to decide, and then oddly enough, there came an impasse where I got a interview with ExxonMobil, and I was one of the final 6 candidates for a state tax job, because I was like, no, let me just go to industry, kind of while I figure this out as well, and it was either it was at the point where either I go in full in my business or I get the interview, or I if I get the job there. And I just said, you know what, let me go all in on this, because at the time we had found out that we were going to have a kid, and I didn't want to be stuck working crazy hours, with my wife, with the baby in the house. So I went all in. I didn't get the job, so it worked out. You know what I mean? But they took like 6 months to tell me, because corporations, things move really, really slow. So yeah, we've been around for 2.5 years, and then that's kind of the little bit of the back history behind it. And we came out the gate strong, got a really, really big client, ended up being a very bad client, shut down, and then we're kind of back up now. So it's been a wild ride.
Cool. That's fantastic, though.
Yeah, all the stuff that people talk about as far as the bad side of entrepreneurship and stuff. Oh, I've seen it. I've lived it.
So is your office in your home, or do you have a separate office space somewhere?
So right now it's in my home.
Okay.
I office out of my home. All my clients, majority of my clients are virtual. I have a few local that I do like to go visit, mainly because one's a nightclub. And it's actually a fun nightclub to go to.
Cool.
So I like.
Is that the one from the commercial?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a fun place to go.
I can imagine.
And then, but for the most part, yeah. I mean, I work office from home now. We're, like I said, 2020 business plan kind of, we were having the pre-talk earlier. Changed my whole business plan up on a lot of stuff. I am getting an office space because I'm going all in on video.
Okay.
All in, and I need a place to video. And in my office right here, I don't have enough room to really have a full dedicated area. I want to leverage LinkedIn Live as much as possible, and so I'm gonna have kind of so I'm finding a little office space with just literally like a little area to put a desk, but then another separate little office to have as my main just kind of camera video little area. So yeah, I mean, right now, like I said, virtual. I love it. I don't need to work from anywhere, but that's just more kind of a want kind of thing, and I can afford it now finally. So it's like, okay, why not?
That's a good position to be in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand that fully.
So yeah, and just living life here in Houston. Trying my hardest to kind of get out there and really trying to make a name for myself.
So how many years were you working for other CPAs before breaking off and starting out on your own?
10.
Okay.
So it was 10 years. I started off with a really small company here in Houston. We got bought out by a regional firm from Austin, Texas. They treated us like we were like the stepchildren that they didn't want, We got treated pretty badly. So everybody left, went to work for another firm, which for a CPA who was from Monterrey. So I got exposure to a lot of international tax, working with Mexican corporations that opening subsidiaries in the U.S. and stuff. So I got a lot of experience with that. And then And then the old boss at the original firm, not the one that sold, but the other one, he went and started his own and was like, hey, come work for me. I'm like, nah, I'm happy. Come work for me. He just kept going and going. He just started throwing money and money and money. And, you get to the point where it's like, okay, it's enough money to kind of make me move. So made the move. Real talk. I mean, it wasn't a good move for me as far as career-wise. Money-wise it was, but career-wise it wasn't. And after there, that's when I decided to go out on my own, and here we are now, So that's so it was about 10-year span of working for other people. So
that gives you good exposure though to decide what you do and don't want to do. So that's actually good.
Yeah, no, and I had the ability to be able to see different management styles, and I've had the best, I've had the worst, and so it gave me the ability to mold me to essentially what how I want to operate now and how I want to lead my team. I have a better idea of, okay, I know what not to do. And so it's just like now, and so it's been kind of nice because I mean, so far from what I've seen, the conversations with my team and stuff like that, they're all really, really happy. I mean, they're bought in. I was sick all of December pretty much, and the flu, and then like a sinus infection and stuff like that. And so I mean, they were just without a beat picked up the slack, and it's hard to find people that are that in tune or that dedicated without actually being owners. Some people just want to come in and work and then they want to leave, but no, my team really stepped it up, and that's something I'm really grateful for. And it has been, like I said, taking my experience, and I know what not to do.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, it's like I said, it's been a really fun ride. I've got to meet some amazing people like you, and the fact that you started speaking Spanish to me just completely blew my mind. Whenever you hit me with that message, I was like, Russell, man, what the heck? But yeah, no, it's been awesome, and so my focus now, my vision is my passion, my calling, all those buzzwords. But I mean, I know what I want to do. I know why I was put on this earth, and it's I want to help my community, the Hispanic community.
That's wonderful.
I feel like there is a lot of misinformation out there, and not necessarily, the people giving this misinformation, I don't think they do it on purpose. They just maybe don't have the education or the resources to give the right information. And so I come across a lot of clients and I'm just like, oh, who told you to do this? Or why you set your structure up like this? Or why are you doing this? And, oh, well, my old accountant told me how to do this. And it's just like, oh, like, no, and so I want to help, and that's always been in my nature. And so now my main focus is trying to get the education, the word out, and really trying to reach as many people as I can, and let them know, one, because my main focus is, like I said, I'd like to help the whole community, but that's just going to be impossible right now.
Sure.
So I realized, okay, so if I can't help the community, let me help those that are helping the community. And so that's why I've, in my own industry, I'm like, okay, let me, because when you talk about cloud applications, technology and automation and stuff like that, even just in the accounting community in general, a lot of people still don't get it. They're not bought in. They're just like, I don't need to know that. I don't care about any of that, and then you get into the Hispanic community and you haven't had the conversations of what is the cloud, is it secure, and things like that, so there's no information, no resources for them to go out there besides actually, doing what I did, demoing stuff, spending money on softwares, spending money on time, maybe your staff working on stuff. And it's just, I spent a lot of money on some of this stuff. And so,
sure.
What I want to do is help them kind of, maybe if I can bridge that gap a little bit and, let them know, hey guys, there's resources out there, stuff like Zero. I mean, you can see it, I've got it up back here. Stuff that can help your business and allow you to effectively work a lot easier, a lot more efficient. So you have the time to give the good advice to your clients, instead of just being, churn and burn and quantity over quality. It's just like, okay, let's get these tax returns in, tax returns out, and the client asks you a quick question, you kind of brush them off like, No, we need to, we need to help, because then if we can help them, we're just gonna up the wealth of the community.
Sure.
We need to help each other out. That's just my personal thought process on it. So
No, that's interesting. Maybe you haven't run into this where you are. I actually see some Latino small businesses that really take advantage of the community, um, because they feel like they've got a leg up in negotiating or in representing things. Now, that may be because I'm in real estate and mortgage finance, and it's really easy to confuse people and rip them off if that's what your focus is. Um, there are times when I've had Latino friends that have been talking to me about what they're doing, and someone else lies to them about what they can do and then just screws them over at the last second, and they're stuck with it. And they're too proud to come back to me and let me fix it, even though what I was offering them was better to begin with. I don't know if you see that in your line of work or not.
I do. Because they see the community as not being as educated, or they see the community as not really being sorry, my Alexa's going off over here and I don't know how to turn it off. Yeah, I do see that. It's kind of sad, you know what I mean? Because again, they, especially when it's a different language and you start throwing a lot of technical terms of them in English, and they're primarily Spanish speakers, and then you're just like, if you got the slick look and you can trust me, yeah, I do. And it's very frustrating to me, which is why I kind of want to up the education and the resources for people to be able to go see, like what you're doing with mortgages. You go to one of these big box offices, big box shops, and they're throwing a bunch of lingo at you. Okay, what the hell does any of that mean? You can go follow, listen to the stuff you're putting out and be like, oh, well, maybe I need to ask that question, or maybe I need to know this, or maybe this, or I can turn around and ask them this. And there's not a lot of resources in Spanish out there. There really isn't. There's not a lot in English. But there's
there isn't. And that's why part of my goal is to have a couple thousand videos out there with information and postings and everything else. I don't know if you've watched me on Instagram at all or not. For years, I couldn't figure out how to use the damn thing because I do everything on my computer.
Yeah.
And so my kids were on there, and I go on and I managed to set up a profile, and I downloaded the app here on my desktop. And I couldn't get anything to post, and I couldn't figure out why. And I'd try and I couldn't figure it out. And so my first Instagram post was August 1st, and it was on accident because I somehow managed to upload a bunch of pictures, which means I did it from my phone.
Yeah.
And just didn't realize I had done it from my phone instead of here. But now I'm at,
I see you.
I've got 800 or 900 posts now, and
I see you are on it. I'm just gonna say, man, I love your TikTok videos.
That's good.
I love your TikTok videos, man. Yeah.
So I got in a huge argument with my wife the other day. Now, we own this company together. We started it together. She's not here. She's actually off at another job she's gotten because she doesn't like being here. But we both hold real estate brokers licenses. So we're both mortgage brokers, and we have the licenses to run our own companies if we want. And she says that I'm damaging the brand by some of the stuff that I put out there. Because I put out some off-color jokes and things like that. But I'm careful where I put it. I don't usually carry those over to Facebook. There are some things I put that are only on TikTok. So if I'm really off color or just way out of line on what I'm saying, I just leave it on TikTok. And then there's some things that I'll take over to Instagram as well, because that seems to be a little bit more juvenile. And some of it I even put on LinkedIn, just depending on if it's appropriate or if I think they'll think it's funny. I've found other people's TikTok videos that are making fun of tax situations or things like that, and I put those up, and those get a lot of rave reviews from people on that. So, but my feeling is we need to put out as much content as we can. I like the content that lets people see what kind of a person I am and the way I think about things. And I just know that whenever she gets her notification from Chrome that I posted something else on Facebook, all day long she's getting mad because she thinks it's a waste of time. Now, I can directly track $25,000 in revenue last year to my Facebook posts to people that only reached out to me because of that content.
Yeah.
Well, just that's worth everything I've done.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, in today's digital world, showing people who you are, it shows your authenticity, and that builds trust. I mean, because the only way you can, I see you, I trust you, know what you're talking about, if I was in California, I'd be sending you a bunch of business.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, but it's all about building trust, and the only way to build trust is to be yourself. And yeah, you have some off-colored jokes, you have that, but I mean that it's authentic. It's not like a robot that is just kind of posting, hey guys, you can save, rates dropped today, and that's all you post. And it's just like rates went up today, and okay, thank you. I can Google that,
Yeah. And I do some of that too, but part of it is giving people advice. For example, I'm telling people wherever they are right now that if they're closing on their purchase anytime soon, they should probably lock it in because there's a lot of potential for downside. If things go wrong in this impeachment trial or on the stuff that's going on in Japan or the stuff that's going on with China, rates could skyrocket. And so you could add $300 or $400 a month to your new mortgage payment. Whereas if everything goes perfectly, there's just not a lot of room for them to go down. Yeah. So you weigh, and I don't see any reason to justify holding out right now unless you have an unlimited amount of time in which to wait. Because long term, we're still in a downward trending market, but it goes down and up and down and up, and each dip it's going to go a little bit lower as we get through the end of the next recession. But I can't tell you if that's going to be 2 months from now, probably not 2 months from now, but it could be 2 years from now.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I love it, because like I said, while you do post the technical stuff, you also post non-technical stuff, and like I said, it shows who you are. So I feel like I don't know you, but I feel like I know you, know? I feel like I know you, where somebody else was just posting that, I'm just like, okay, who the hell are you? Because I mean, we can automate some of this stuff. There's applications out that'll post stuff as well, and it's just like, is that really you, or is that, what is that? So
now I do have some of my content curated from other sites. I have 1 or 2 posts a day from an outfit that's called LO Social Bot. LO is for loan officer. But I always put my own comments in the comments section of the post. And I review each one to make sure I agree with what they're saying, because some of their advice is bad. So if I don't like what they say, for example, on some of the videos that they do for us, I can change all the text in the videos. So I rewrite some of the stuff they say because I disagree with their logic on some of the things.
Yeah.
And then I reuse it in other ways as well. But the benefit is I've got some automated blog posts that are just going out there that are available for people. And then one of my lenders has a bunch of content they create for us. Well, I change the verbiage on every single one of those postings.
Yeah.
And then I tend to take the graphic and load it into Canva and change it all into Spanish and put it on my Spanish page, my Spanish Instagram. But it's all got my flavor.
Yeah. No, for sure. I just say, man, I love Canva. Canva makes life so much easier.
I use Canva for some of the stuff. I use Pablo. And again, I love all the free tools that I can use.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I'm all about the free. I mean, that's something, every time I talk to a new client, it's like, what free stuff can we get you on right now till we need to get to the paid version,
Mm-hmm.
So what tools, like everybody, the first question I get, oh, what's this good CRM? HubSpot. It's free. It's free.
Yeah, I should probably learn how to use that.
You know, now it's not that the free version doesn't have a lot of features, but if you're just starting off, you don't need a lot of features.
No, I agree with you there. And I'm signed up for it. I've probably been kicked out because I haven't been on it for so long. They send me emails every now and then saying that I'll be deactivated. So I may have lost that account.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like accounting, people always say, well, what do I use QuickBooks? Do I use Xero? Man, if you're just starting off and you don't have any money, Wave is free. You know, it's not that good, but it's free. You know,
Probably better than using Excel, right?
mm-hmm. And it actually, I think you can connect the bank and actually have your transactions come in so that, yeah, you don't miss something through Excel. You know, if you want to send invoices out, there's stuff like Invoice Ninja that I found.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or you can send an invoice in through Stripe where it's free. All you do is just pay the credit card processing fees, you know? And so it's things like that you can leverage a lot of, and I'm glad you said that because you can leverage a lot of this tech that's out there to be able to, you know, start your business with little no money down, you know, and just, you know, especially like in my industry, tax software. So you got to buy tax software, insurance, errors and omissions insurance,
Mm-hmm.
you know, pay a little bit of money to get registered with the IRS, and you can start doing taxes right then and there. You know, that's what I tell people. It's like, oh, how much did it take to get started? $500. $500. You know, that's what I needed. So, and a lot of these other, like, especially, you know, creatives, professional service firms, people that are using their reputations, you need a computer.
Mm-hmm.
You need a computer and internet and a cell phone, and that's it. And you'll probably already have all those.
Yeah.
You know, Wave for your accounting, Invoice Ninja. If you want to collect Bitcoin, Invoice Ninja connects with I forget and I'd have to get back to you on that. There's a payment processor that collects Bitcoin. So if you want to get paid in crypto, you can do that. Send invoices out. There's an app for Invoice Ninja. You can send invoices out of Wave, but you have to pay to send them.
Okay.
You have to pay to get payments, something like that. But, you know, simple. You want to track your mileage? Everlance, I think you can track your mileage for free up to a certain amount. Or if you get like a Microsoft Office, you know, a lot of people like to get Microsoft Office for, you know, for their business. Pay the extra $12.50 instead of the home. Get the business edition for $12.50 a month, and you get Mile IQ for free with that.
Okay.
You know, so little things like that is what it's what I love to do. You know, I love to help, and so, you know, kind of, you don't need a lot of money to get started. You know, and then that's the fear a lot of people with entrepreneurs or people that want to be entrepreneurs is, oh, I need to get set up. I need to get. You don't. If you know the stuff, just do it. You know, I think Canva has a free version if you want to start making nice little pictures. There's free apps that you know, similar to that you can do to start posting on social media sites and, you know, start recording phones.
Yeah, for the most part, I use the free version of Canva, and hell, I stick Bitmojis or the other stuff that I do for everything that I'm putting together and put out there. And I like to create pictures as well as cartoons and say the same thing several different ways.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, let me give you a tip that I've been telling people, and I haven't really blasted it out too much yet. Receipt management. People always like, oh, I need to keep track of my receipts. Easy way to do it: create an email address with your business name -receipts@gmail.com. Every time you get a receipt, take a picture, send it to that email address. All your receipts are there. They may not be cataloged, but it's an easy, free way to track it. You want to take it one step further, start making folders for different accounts, you know, auto, expense, meals and entertainment, stuff like that. Put it to that folder. Easy way to track your receipts and have them a digital copy. You know, again, free.
It's a good idea.
You know, now once you start making some money and start, you know, really high output or things like that, then let's talk about, you know, then there's a whole suite of stuff that can be used. But if you're looking for free stuff, I mean, just do that. and that's really all you need. And then connect that to your Google Drive. And I think you can even push them to Google Drive as a second place to store in.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Just like that, you're, you've got a lot of these systems in place that are 100% free.
Now tell me, were you using Xero before you started your own company?
No. So that's a funny story. So I started Xero. Somebody reached out to me. It's like, hey, we're a cloud accounting platform. We want to put you on as a partner. Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care. They put me on. I was like, I don't care. I was QuickBooks all the way. And then once they put me on, they realized I was in Houston. I started getting phone calls from a sales manager, from the account manager, Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jackie. Jackie's my girl, but goodness gracious, she is relentless.
Oh, I bet she is.
She is. She is a salesman, bro. Like, she is a salesman, and she would not leave me alone. Come to this event. Come to that event. Come here. Come there. And finally, I was like, all right, I'll go to an event. So I went to go check it out, and I looked at the software, and I was like, oh wow, this looks awesome. And so I just like, you know what? Let's do it. I switched all my clients over. And let's get going, and I started hanging out with them a lot more, and I started hanging out with Daniel Gallagher as well. And, now we're all friends. Daniel's now manager of the PCs in North America, I think. And so he's no longer in the Houston community. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what led to it. But to me, it's a much better, much cleaner software. I prefer it. So that's what led me to that. And then they've been a really, really big advocate for me as far as with the Hispanic education and stuff. And so that's helped us out a lot. They've really bought into the vision, and they're really, like, yeah, let's do it. Let's educate. And
so they're super forward thinking.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%.
And they're all about us, the resources in the partner program are ridiculous. You need help with marketing. There's a marketing fund. Once you get to a certain level, they help pay up to $2,000. They'll refund you for marketing. So if you want to redesign a new website, they'll pay up to $2,000 of it.
Wow.
Stuff like that. Now there's certain stipulations and stuff. They want their logo and things like that. But I mean,
sure.
Look, I've got their logo now. So yeah, it's a really good product, really good company. And I mean, the people are awesome that work there. It's a good culture. Because I mean, it'd be hard to support somebody if the culture, was horrible, And so, but from what I talked to everybody, they love their job there. So it's been a really good company. I like it.
So did you put your website together yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. You can tell. I've gotten some good feedback from it. I've gotten some really bad feedback from it. I'm changing it up. We're working on trying to revise it a little bit, but we're getting there slowly but surely. So
I think it's far better to do it yourself than have something that looks like every other business advisory firm in Houston.
Thank you.
Thank
you for using the right term.
Yeah, I was trying to remember, how do I do this exactly? There's a lot of places that offer mortgage websites, and going back to probably 1998, I've always just written my own. And maybe not as slick as some of the others, but it's me. And so I can put it together the way I want to, as long as everything works, and we're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I agree with you. It has my own touch to it. I did it, but like I said, it does have my own touch to it. And Squarespace, I use Squarespace. It was easy. It was easy to set up, So I was like, yeah, I'm okay with that. But well, my friend, I hate to cut this short. I have a meeting I have to get to. I want to say thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Russell. This was awesome. We finally connected. I know we've been kind of going back and forth, and this has been really, really awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
I really appreciate your time. And if there's anything I can do for you down the road, just reach out, let me know.
Of course. My door is always open for you as well. So
perfect.
Okay.
Well, thank you, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, guys.